Yay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Um, I don't know how many people are here. I forgot how to check that out, but let's just wait for some people.
Hi. I
Hello.
didn't say anything.
So this month, or the month that just ended, July, Lucy and I read That Could Be Enough by Alyssa Cole, which is a historical romance about between two black girls. Hi, Candy.
Hi.
And one of them is called Mercy, and she is one of Eliza Hamilton's maids, but she's also a writer, and she helped Eliza Hamilton with sort of like transcriptions of interviews that she's doing with Hamilton's or Alexander Hamilton's former soldiers. And the other black girl is called Andromeda, and she is a seamstress. She has her own business, and I had a lot of fun reading. How was the experience for you, Lucy?
I had a lot of fun reading too. Like we were talking about before, the blurb where it's like a fluffy, angsty romance really fits it perfectly. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a very fun, super easy to read book. I I've only read one other book by Alyssa Cole, and I think this one is better, even though it's way shorter than A Princess in Theory.
Oh.
But I really, really liked it. So, what do you think about the plot, Lucy?
I thought the plot was interesting. Like, for me, the romance obviously outweighed anything just because it is a
Mm-hmm.
romance. But um, I thought the part like Mercy, like learning, um, like how to be more herself and just not to cut herself off. I thought that was done really well. And I don't the idea of Eliza Hamilton um, like preserving her husband's legacy. I kind of liked how that was brought in for Mercy and how like her opinions on it were like what kind of why is she doing this? And she was just
Yeah.
like I'm here and like I need a job so I'm going to do it and like I like Eliza and
Mm-hmm.
um Angelica was her daughter, right? Sorry. I should have
Yeah,
asked
that's the idea that I got too.
because I was confused and then I did end up looking it up because I was like I thought Angelica was the sister. I've only seen Hamilton once, and so
Yeah.
I was like, I thought Angelica was the sister, and then it said because I was also confused because she like didn't talk, or like she
Uh-huh.
talked, but
Uh-huh.
like she had like it was different how she talked. I think,
Yeah, she did not sound like an adult.
yeah,
Hmm.
um, and apparently she had like mental I don't know what the word would be
Uh-huh.
uh like
Like uh-huh.
developmental issues like in real life. So
Ah, okay.
um so I thought that was interesting. I don't remember why I brought that up.
We were talking about the plot and that you like um,
Yeah, I just
Eliza
liked
and
how um Mercy's relationship with them was brought in. Like it was still a small part, but I liked how it was still incorporated and I liked seeing Andromeda be a powerful like black businesswoman, especially during that time when you
yeah.
don't know that. And I also appreciated like Alyssa Cole's like note at the end
Hmm. Hmm.
about that. So just how everything was brought together and the romance and how Andromeda brought Mercy out of her shell. That was like the cutest part.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what
I
about you?
agree. It was super cute. I don't even know what I was expecting, but I was so happy with like the plot. It was super easy to read. It was super easy to follow, especially because I think that even though it's a very short book, it's about 100 and something
Yeah,
pages, it packed a whole lot. So we
yeah,
had not only Mercy and Andromeda in like the Hamilton estate, we also had this backdrop of um, Mercy wanting to be a writer and knowing how to, be a writer, just not
Yeah.
having like the self confidence to do that. And also with Andromeda being a business owner, I was not expecting
Yeah,
that
I
at all
wasn't.
either.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all because, like, the synopsis, like, oh, she comes to talk about her grandfather, and
Uh
I
huh.
thought that was weird in the synopsis because I was like, why would they do that? But it made sense in the story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I also like what you mentioned about the how Mercy feels about keeping Alexander Hamilton's legacy alive. Like,
Hmm.
why would Eliza want to do that? I thought that was super super interesting as well. And as for the characters, I love Mercy because I related a lot to her, but
Hmm.
I loved Andromeda. Like, she's my kind of girl. I loved how she was like snarky but like sexy. Oh, incredible.
Yeah. I think I liked Mercy a little better just because she is like more relatable to me. Like
Hmm.
I'm not like I would never just like grab someone like first meeting like that would never be me. But like yeah, like you said, like she made like a great like love interest from that perspective. So I like that. But yeah, I think I'm
Hmm.
more Mercy, and I also I mean, they both kind of annoyed me. Well, actually, Mercy probably annoyed me more just because of her being so closed off. And Andromeda is like, hello, I'm right here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And Mercy's like, can't be seen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so true. Candace said, "Wait, why isn't it showing?"
It's showing for me.
Yeah, she said, "Yes, and it's such a hopeful story. I love it."
Hmm.
Yes. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is a very hopeful story. I love that it wasn't like it's just I struggle with my feelings concerning books like this because while their purpose is not to be educational, they end up teaching you a
Hmm.
lot. Like, I didn't know black people, especially black women, were allowed to own businesses in the 1800s. Like, that was super interesting to me.
I like had a vague like idea of knowing that just because you like by necessity lots of things like Alyssa Cole said
And the
in
authors
author's
know?
note, yes, like by necessity, like someone like the black women have to be able to like get money somehow, like or else
Hmm.
like and people like even the white people needed those businesses because there are certain things that they don't even want to do, they didn't want to do. They need other like they need the people they look down on to do them, so they need a way to do them. So I had like I knew in my like head, but like it's not really something like in America they put in
Hmm.
history books or anything. And so it was nice to see that in like a fiction book.
Much less in like I remember very little about what I know now from
Mhm.
the United States. Like, I remember the 4th of July,
Mhm.
and then Tea Party, I think, uh, and then all the way up to like the civil rights
Mhm.
movement. We just touched like very vaguely on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and it was like those are the two figures, and that was it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So this one was super insightful, even though it wasn't a textbook on
Yeah.
what life was like in the 1800s. So yeah, I also felt sorry that Mercy was much more relatable, but she is kind of annoying because she is like, no, 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 like me, I cannot break out of my shell. It's hard. It's hurtful, and
Mhm.
yeah, but it was so lovely to see how patient Andromeda was with her. What
Yeah.
did what did you think, Candy? It's just I see no one else commenting, but I know there are two other people in the live show, so let us know if you liked both of our characters. If you didn't, maybe keep it to yourself. No, I'm
No,
kidding.
tell us why.
Yeah, tell us why. Tell us why you didn't like them. If you didn't, and tell us who you thought was more relatable, who you connected to the most. For me, I have these weird kind of like slash connection to the love interest, just because I think that she was like the kind of person that I'm attracted to in general, like that witty, snarky,
Yeah.
sarcastic kind of person. And she was so forward, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Because she was just like, I like you. Maybe we should do this. Maybe, if you're into it.
Yeah,
It
she was
was.
definitely very forward, and I was like it's like whoa, like that's I don't that probably also like affected Mercy because she was like way not used to it, and like
Mhm.
I wonder if she was slightly less like maybe if she was less forward, nothing would have ever happened because Mercy would have been like I can't do anything, but also maybe
Yeah.
if she was like a little less forward, Mercy would have been able to like slide in a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, like it would have been more smoothly, but then the book would have been a little longer. So
Yeah,
it would have still been a great book to read. That's one of the reasons why I love historical romance so much. Like the slow burn is
yeah.
oh so good. It makes you suffer, but it is worth it. So yeah. What about this? What did you think of the setting?
The setting. It was in New York, which I like knew vaguely, but like didn't realize. And I don't know if you know, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm from New York, so I always love reading that. And I also like I like the
Oh.
historical. Yeah, I don't live in New York right now though, but I like just seeing the historical of setting of being in New York
Okay.
and seeing it all.
Mm-hmm,
What about you?
mm-hmm. Yeah, it was super interesting. Also because obviously Eliza Eliza Hamilton lived in not necessarily like a secluded place, but
Yeah,
she was like not in the city.
yeah,
And so that was kind of fun to read about too. That was kind of it was also part of why the slow burn was so excruciatingly good,
yeah.
because it was
Really,
like, oh, they don't
letters.
know. Yeah, they do write letters. So people are talking about the characters. I like characters. I just wish the story was longer, but I get why it wasn't. I think the story was originally part of a bind up of three short stories. Oh, is
Yeah,
that the Hamilton's Battalion thing?
yeah. I think that's what
Oh,
I have not read
interesting.
either of those. The other ones.
Me neither. No, me neither. But oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I also wish we also wish both Lucy and I agree that it could have been longer. But we enjoyed it regardless of like the length. And then Candace said, haha, I love them both. Mercy was so relatable with her fear for love when she had been hurt in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah, this book felt like kind of like a therapy session for me for a while, because it was that is what scares me when I go into books, because it's just like that I see myself so much in a character that it's like, oh my god, like I think I could be working on those same
mhm,
things that Mercy is working on.
yeah.
What about you?
I think that's like a common like thing. Like I feel like a lot of people will find Mercy relatable because, unfortunately, romance is hard. So like a lot of people will have
Yeah.
had like hurt in their past and like will close themselves off from it and be like, oh, like it's not worth it. Like it's not
Hmm.
anything. And like the book part of it where you're like it actually is worth it and then someone like shows up and then shows how it's worth it and then everyone who's reading is like
Hmm.
when will my Andromeda show up?
Right. Yes. Same. Same. Yes. I'm so happy that we see eye to eye on that, because it's like, yeah. And then Leanne also said, slow burn is the best in historical romance. Yes. I see some people on Twitter say that they don't love contemporary romance because the insta lust and
Mhm.
the connection develops too quickly, or
Mhm.
like, quickly enough for a contemporary setting, whereas in historical romance there's like this yearning that makes it, I guess, more enjoyable for some people. I don't know. I like both the same, I would say. What about you, Lucy?
I think I prefer the slow burn just because like I like me as a person, I'm like a slow burn person in romance. Like it takes me a while to like warm up to someone. So it's
Hmm.
not that you have to relate to every book that you read, but I think like specifically in romance, you're like looking for like something to relate to. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
I never fully buy into like when it's faster or like more insta lovey, but like I can still enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
just like I just move past it.
Okay. And then Candy also said that Kearney Milan's story in the Hamilton's Battalion mythology are about Andromeda's uncles. So, like, is it gay? Because there was a mention, wasn't it, about gay people
um,
in that could be enough, or am I making
well,
stuff up?
you said there was a mention or wasn't?
Yeah, I think there was a mention
Oh,
that
yeah,
they were that was one of like the worries.
I think there was like a general mention of
Go on,
like
go on.
there's like other people that are gay in the story or like not in the story in like the area and stuff. But I don't think we saw
Yeah.
anyone.
Hmm. And then, oh, Candace said yes, a gay story. So yay. I might have to check that out. Check that anthology out.
Yeah,
And
I
then
hadn't.
the main, she said that, yeah, me neither. A biracial romance. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe they could be, I mean, maybe that anthology could be part of the Accidentally in Love book club. Who knows? I'm in the middle of many things, but
Mhm.
I love historical romance. I wish it had been more popular in the poll that I posted when I was initially thinking about um, doing the book club, because a lot of people said that their favorite was historical. I mean, um, contemporary.
I mean, you can
Um,
always change it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, I didn't put up a poll to choose this in particular. I wanted this book in particular. I was in between two books, but I really, really wanted to read that one. That could be enough. And then I told Lucy that who, I mean, which book would you rather read? And she said this one. And I was like, well, we'll do this one because it's my birthday month and I get to do whatever I want. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Lucy and I did. Um, yeah, we agree, Candy. Historical romance is really good. Um, oh, I've been meaning to ask you, Lucy, about the letter part of the story. Did you like it? Did you
Yeah,
not?
I thought the letters were so fun just because like Mercy's like I don't know what to do. Why am I getting these letters? Why am I sending her letters? And then after, are we allowed to spoil thing or
Yeah,
spoil?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then when she sent the letter, and then Andromeda like got stuck somewhere, so she hadn't got it. And then Mercy's just like, I am the worst person in the world. I can't believe I had the audacity to send such a letter. How could I have even thought she would ever like me? An inkling, like, and then she just shows up at her house. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, me too. And I felt like that meme, that people show sometimes, the you send when you send a risky text and then it's
Yeah.
like this baby boy going like no and running away. That's how
Yeah.
I felt. Yeah, it was so good to read because I feel like letters are just something where you pour your heart out,
Yes.
and it's very hard to do that. And especially, I mean, especially if it was in the 1800s and to another woman, I'm assuming it would have been a little bit even more
Yeah,
nerve
risky.
wracking. Yeah. And then she said, I mean, they said, Candy, yes, I love when books incorporate mixed media like that. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. It was good. Epistolary format is one of my favorite things to read just because I think it takes very smart people to write such stories. And this one was like super good to
yeah,
read.
yeah. I love epistolary stories as well. So it was like a nice surprise when they started doing that.
Hmm. Hmm. And the letters were so good too because you got a little bit more of a of the feeling
Yeah,
of longing of that what they couldn't say face to face, more specifically what Mercy couldn't say to Andromeda's face. She could say it in a letter, and
yeah.
even then she was like, what did I do?
Which once again, relatable.
Yes, yes, super relatable. um I was gonna ask something else about the like misunderstanding towards the end.
I hated it.
The after the sex scene, you didn't like it.
I was like, what is like I when she opened the newspaper and she read it, I was like, okay, she's gonna go ask her like,
Mm-hmm.
what the heck is this? But she's just like, okay, we're not doing anything anymore. I'm not even
Oh,
gonna bring up this newspaper article, which like she had it like right there. I was like, why wouldn't you just say it? Like, why would you immediately like even if you're like, oh, she's been playing me this whole time, I would want to yell at that person.
yeah, me too. Yeah, and it was so, oh my God, it was so heartbreaking because she was like, what was I thinking? This is over. And she was just like taking her things. And Andromeda was like, but like, what are you doing? Talk to me. It's okay. And she's like, no, it's not okay. I'm leaving. And I'm like, but my heart.
But I was glad it was resolved
It was too
quickly.
much. Too much.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it was actually pretty clever. I thought it was gonna be like, oh no, that's my cousin. It's like
yeah,
he was trying to help me, but she's way smarter than that. Alyssa Cole is way smarter.
yeah. She made
Um,
up a whole
I should have.
man.
Yeah, I mean, do you even can you even like understand that kind of concept? It would have never crossed my mind that she
Yeah,
was that he was a made up dude.
a
But
made
it
up
was so
man
funny. Yeah,
who's gonna die if he kills.
exactly. Yeah, I was like, well, okay, so what's gonna happen next? And then it's like, well, he tragically died, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, that is way smarter.
Yeah, because also if it was like a real cousin or something, they would have to like
Mhm.
call off the wedding or something,
Yeah,
like with the real person. But
mhm.
so
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of Princess of the Frog when Tiana gets rejected by the white guys who are selling her
hmm
the restaurant or
yeah,
rent her the restaurant. And I was like, no, why would you do that? But it added for great conflict, I guess.
yeah, I didn't think
Um,
of that.
because it brought the stakes higher, not
hmm
just for the romance. I wasn't even like really thinking of the romance, but for Andromeda herself
Yeah,
as a business owner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that it was like a boarding house,
Hmm.
and she was like, yeah, I just like that. She was like, okay, I'm like starting my empire basically.
Yeah, it was really fun to read. What did everyone else think of the letters? I know Candy already said that they enjoy mixed media. But what did everyone else think? Leanne, are you still there? Um, because we thought it was really clever, it was really fun, it's really sweet. It added to the fluffiness. I think that was part of
Yeah.
the fluffy part. But yeah, and what did everyone else think about the setting? Because we loved it, and I also didn't know that it was like rainy New York kind of weather in the
Yeah,
book,
it.
but it added to my stress a whole lot. 'Cause there was a part where Mercy, right? She was worried about Andromeda, and then Andromeda is like, "Hey, I'm okay."
Yeah. I mean, they're like in upstate New York, so the weather there is not great.
Oh, okay.
So
So it made sense that there would be
yeah,
rain.
it
Oh,
would be
okay.
like rain and like snowy hail shit and stuff like that.
It's okay. Yeah, it was. It made so stress. It made me so stressed. I I mean, right now it's like you call someone and it's like I'm stuck in the rain, but like
Hmm.
I'm fine. But back then it was like, are they okay?
You
What
don't know.
happened?
You don't know anything until they get back with the horse that they rode there.
Yeah, exactly. And I also love that part of Mercy because I feel like that was her moment to like get out of her shell when
Yeah,
Andromeda was safe, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're safe."
yeah.
And then Candace said, "Yes, the letters were great. I love the settings. Historical romance is set in England, so this was so interesting."
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I
I
guess.
don't read much historical romance.
Yeah, I guess because like the ones that we've read were both set in
What were
America.
you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying like because the ones that we've read were
Mm-hmm,
both set in
mm-hmm.
America, so it didn't. But like when I see other people talk about historical romance, like a lot of it is set in England, so or like Europe. I'm like, what continent?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I like. I mean, I haven't read any of the England set ones, but
Hmm.
I feel like, or particularly in the ones that Lucy and I have read, the Rebel by Beverly Jenkins and That Could Be in, you get a whole lot more because they are about black people falling in love and I guess the implications of
Yeah,
that. I don't know how to explain it.
no, I think that
Um,
works.
Yeah, and it makes for such an interesting historical context. For those of you who don't know, Rebel is set after the Civil War,
Hmm.
and our main character, she is a teacher, and she teaches newly emancipated, newly freed slaves. So I can only imagine the amount of research that went into that.
Yeah,
um, I also would think that Beverly Jenkins wrote a whole um, author's note on the books that she read. So it's super interesting. And then Leanne said, I think it was interesting that Alyssa Cole was able to make the letters so relatable to modern readers because for us, instead of letters, it would be texting. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fair.
And also, like, now you can see that the person has read it. So I'm assuming, I don't know, like it's just too much anxiety for me.
Yeah, and also like it, like you said, it like increases like the longing and stuff because like texting, it's like instant gratification. Like, oh, you send it, the
Hmm.
person's gonna respond, and like within a day at least, like you're gonna get a
Hmm.
message back. With a letter, it takes like if you have really good postal service, 3 days.
Yeah, it takes a while. So I can oh my gosh, poor Mercy. She was so scared. And I would have been too. And then Candace also said that I have to read Revel. Yes, you do.
We agree.
Yes, we do agree. Does anyone know if all of Beverly Jenkins' books take place in the United States? Because I feel
Um,
like that would be interesting.
I'm just opening Goodreads. Oh,
Oh, okay.
um, It's kind of, I mean, she has so many books, but it
Mhm.
seems like it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's fun.
hmm,
Oh, Candace said yes, they do. That's so interesting. I want to read her pirate books because she has Rebel is part of like a series.
yeah,
The I think all of the um is it is it Derek? No, Drake. Drake. All of
yeah.
Drake's relatives I think have their own
Oh,
books,
or they
and I
will.
and or they will. And one of them is a pirate story, like captured by destiny or entrapped by destiny or something like that. I don't know, but it sounded really interesting.
Uh,
Yeah. Hmm.
Destiny's Captive.
Destiny's Captive.
I'm still looking at Goodreads. Oh, I think that's something. No, that's something else. I don't think this is
Oh, that's
pirates.
something else. Oh, okay. Oops, sorry. So yeah, don't quote me on things. I just like assume things from covers and stuff and such. But I am 100% sure that she wrote a pirate story, and I don't know if they were Drake's grandparents or Drake's parents
Okay,
or what,
I
but they
lied.
were related to Drake, who was also.
The book you said was a pirate story, but like the Destiny's Captive,
Oh,
I think,
okay,
is a pirate story. I was looking at the
but
wrong
not
thing,
Drake.
but it's not Drake. But I don't know.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
Ah, okay.
I just like to look up
And
things
Drake,
when I.
no, that's okay. And Drake was such a good. Uh-huh. No, I get it. Me too. But Drake was such a hot character. I don't know what it is with Beverly Jenkins and Alyssa Cole's love interest for these two, but oh boy, I was fanning myself. I was like, this is my kind of thing. I wish I could have like
Yeah,
it's just that when you're so like reserved and
yeah.
like I don't want to do anything, I would love for like a forward person to be like,
This is what I want, and it's you.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Because oh yeah, it's hard. Like talking about your feelings, and
Yeah,
it's just a lot. So I appreciate love interest like that. If they could be real, it would be better for me. So does anybody else talk about anything else about the book concerning the characters, the plot, the setting, the any other things that you found special about the book? What about you, Lucy?
um, I think we covered most of it. There were,
Hmm.
I feel like there were like quotes that I have my Kindle, but
Oh,
I feel like I had like a quote, but I don't remember it now.
there were some interesting quotes, and not just about romance.
Yeah,
There were some great ones about like female agency, and it was good. I
yeah,
particularly loved one where Eliza was talking to Mercy about how she had what it takes to be a writer and that she was not going to like be hurt if she
like
chose to leave.
yeah.
Um Eliza Hamilton was so likable in this story.
I thought she was like, I don't know, she was like a kind of less character to me. I did like
Mhm.
how the end though, like it's like Mercy writing a letter to her, and like
Mm.
they were like still like amicable and
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah, that was sweet. And I also love that she was um she was like, "Oh, I know how a broken heart looks like. I've been
Yeah,
there myself." And I was like, oh, so sweet. He's a nice boss.
yeah,
Because that was she. And then Leanne said, "Oh, and Courtney Milan, but other than those three? You mean the part of the anthology one? Highly recommended the two other novellas Alisa has. One is in 1920s and the other one in 1960s. They're so political and hopeful. I love them. Okay. I'm gonna add them to my ever growing TBR.
It's so long.
Yeah, it is really long, especially now that I'm like more into romance. I feel like
Yeah.
there's just like romance and YA contemporary for me, no in between.
Yeah.
And thank you for the recommendations. Does anyone else have any cool recommendations for historical romance that we could read? Maybe they could be the book club pick for another time, because right now we already have the book for August, which is scoring the oh god, scoring the player's baby. Yes, by Nagama Simone. This is a
Excuse me, sorry.
sorry, that's okay. This is a contemporary about a football player who got the main woman pregnant, and they fall in love. I mean, I'm only assuming, but it is a romance. And the October book, which is The Babysitter by Jack Harben, which is an romance about a babysitter and the dad.
Oh, that sounds
And
fun.
I think I'm announcing tomorrow or in 2 days what the book club pick is going to be for Latinx Heritage Month, and also the co-host. So that's super exciting. So thank you guys so much for joining, Leanne and Cande. Thank you for your input. Thank you, Lucy, for doing this with me. I hope you had fun.
I did. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking. Thanks.
Of course. You're welcome. No problem. I love that we got to talk, and I love I can already tell that we like pretty much the the same kind of thing. Like we're pretty much in tune with our reading tastes. So that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, down below, let us know if you have any other historical romance recommendations. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. I feel like I'm on a TV show. Is it over? No.